The race for the NBA scoring title is ridiculously close this year, but who takes home the honor? I'm Madeline Burke for Sports Illustrated here with SI's Ben Pickman and Michael Shapiro. And guys, Steph Curry and Bradley Beal have nearly identical numbers this season. Not to mention, their respective teams are each seated at number 10 in the respective conferences currently. So, Michael, who do you think takes home the scoring title this year?
I really think this could be a battle into the final games of the season, but I'll go with Steph Curry right now for a couple of reasons. One, his schedule could be pretty favorable in terms of putting up potential 50, maybe 60-point performances. The Warriors face the Rockets, the Timberwolves, and have two matchups against the Thunder and three matchups against the Pelicans down the stretch. I also just think Steph, in Golden State is kind of a one-man band right now in terms of scoring. When you look to Washington, Russell Westbrook is still going to have a lot of possessions under his belt. He's going to be hoarding the basketball for significant stretches. Bradley Beal, as we know, can really go off. He's one of the more electric scorers in the game, and he might end up taking this award, but I think just because of the sheer usage and the schedule as well, let's go with Steph. Let's have some fun here.
Michael makes a pretty good point about how good Steph has been, but I do think the Warriors' playoff standings might come back and hurt them. We don't know how much Steph is really going to need to play in those final few games if it does come down to it, right? You look at Golden State, they seem to be pretty locked in for the play-in tournament as long as New Orleans doesn't rise. And on the other hand, Washington has Toronto and Chicago right on their heels in a potential playoff tournament, a play-in tournament rather. And so I look at Bradley Beal and say it might not be as sexy of a pick as Stephen Curry, but Bradley Beal has been tremendous all year, right? He's currently the leader in this category, and while Steph Curry was averaging 37 points in the month of April, Beal was second, still averaging more than 31. If you look at Bradley Beal, he's averaged 31 or more points in 4 of the 5 months this NBA season, and he's been pretty consistent in terms of his shooting percentage as well. So he might not be as splashy of a name, and Steph might light up fans' TVs and entertain people on a grand scale on a more night-to-night basis, but I do think Brad Beal takes this one home in the end because Washington is going to need him to play and play night in and night out.
Yeah, I mean, it's been fun watching what Bradley Beal has been able to do, especially such a good human who has been so committed to this organization, stayed with this organization, and has found not just individual success, but a way for this Washington franchise to string together a few wins recently in a season where we didn't really see that happening early on. But that being said, Steph Curry, when he's on the court, he is in range. And that is the biggest glaring difference between Bradley Beal and Steph Curry is the three-point shooting. Curry leads with an average of three more three-pointers made per game than Beal. And we saw that in the month of April alone, just the ridiculous volume of threes that Steph was hitting. It's just been so much fun to watch. But the one thing that we can say about this award that's different than any other is it just comes down to the math. And we know both of these guys are going to be playing some of their best basketball down the stretch of the season. Looking forward to seeing whose numbers come up better.